Introduce yourself and introduce the band and what you guys are about.
Uh, so the lead vocalist, Kristian Bullard, and we're based out from Olympia, Washington. We've been a band, I guess, like technically a band for a couple years now. And yeah, we write things. We don't want to be pigeonholed into like just like Christian rock or Christian metal, but we just write things that we believe in. And I think our album kind of reflects that pretty well. So that album is our identity. So, you know, the album starts off with a song about the resurrection, and everything else in it is just stories about pain and suffering and hope, and, you know, everything that our lives are about.
Great. Okay. All right. So you definitely would consider yourselves to be a Christian band, or I mean,
Sure.
a faith-based band, I guess you would say.
Sure, that's fair. Yeah.
Right. It's not something that you're trying to like escape.
Yeah. We're not like, yeah.
Right. Right. Now, how many guys are in the band?
4.
Okay, 4. And when did you, like, how old is everybody?
So I'm 25.
Okay.
Our guitarist Nick is 27. My brother Jaden, who plays drums, is 19, and or 20 actually, and our bass player is 24.
My name's Eric.
Hi, good to meet you, Nick.
Good to meet you too. I was just asking him a little bit about the history of the band, you know, what you guys are about as far as that goes. Do you have anything you'd like to share on that avenue of things?
Not really that I can think of. Christian's pretty much got that down as far as the history. I joined the band about, you guys were together for what, like 2 or 3 years, Kristian, before I jumped in?
Yeah, we were like probably about a year. Because you know, we were doing a few shows and the whole thing stopped for a while, and like nothing really was happening until like a year before you joined in.
Okay. I'm listening to you. I'm raising up my questions so I don't.
You're good.
Okay. I just didn't want you to think I'm like ignoring you or.
You're
good. So I guess I'll ask both of you separately. Okay. What sort of music do you listen to, and who's your favorite artist? And basically, I kind of have a little bit of an idea, I think, because I looked at your picks on Spotify and stuff. But go ahead.
Go ahead, Nick. You start.
Sure. So probably my main squeeze these days is Silverstein. They're a really great band out of Canada, but my playlist has a lot of their music. I listen a lot more to post-hardcore kind of stuff, really, than a lot of the alternative metal that we play. And so a lot of my influence, it kind of comes out in the way that I play the guitar. So yeah, it's just really fun. I'm really about the melodies. I think Kristian is similar in that the kind of bands that we like to listen to, it's there is screaming, but it's also a lot of melody in it as well.
I actually saw Silverstein right after their first album came out.
Oh, really?
A long time ago.
That is so cool.
Yeah,
I've
and I
got
met
their shirt on right now.
I met a couple of the guys. I met the singer. Nice guys. But yeah, I saw him right after When Broken Is Easily Fixed.
Oh, that's awesome.
Or isn't easy, whatever the title is, I forget now. But I love that band. That's a great band.
Yeah. Did you hear their new album yet?
Yeah, I heard a couple of the tracks off of it, and it is catchy, but they're a little too. They're moving in that. Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco kind of area that I'm kind of. Fall Out Boy's album Under the Court Tree, in my opinion, is one of the absolute perfect rock records ever made.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that is saying a lot because I'm very picky. but yeah, in my opinion, and everything after that, that's kind of how I feel about the new Silverstein. Is that it's a little too, they're getting a little too into the polished harmonics area where everything sounds like it's been auto-tuned.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, but that first album though, I absolutely love. And the second album I love too. I feel like that's when they were at their most organic, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But I do like them. Yeah, I definitely think that band is a great band. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's pretty much it for me. I mean,
Okay.
the only other side note I would say is that I grew up on a lot of pop punk, and that's pretty much it. So
Cool.
I'll leave it to Kristian.
Yeah. Favorite bands, probably. I have a Third King shirt on, so that's what I'm repping this morning. So they're definitely up there. Breaking Benjamin is probably my favorite band of all time. I think there's a lot of influence in our music from them. Beartooth is a really, really huge one. Ups and Men, and yeah, just kind of anything in that court.
Okay. Yeah, I kind of figured, I heard the Breaking Benjamin in the music.
Yeah, Chevelle, they're kind of a little older now, but yeah.
Yeah, there's a little bit of, I don't even know, you may not even know who these people are, man, because they've been gone for a while. They put out an album a couple of years ago, but do you remember Stavesacre?
I don't think so.
There you go, man. Stavesacre was one of the first power super groups on Tooth and Nail.
Okay,
yeah, it was a couple of guys from the Crucified, one of the guys from Focused, and so that I thought that might be a little too far back, but but yeah, those guys, I hear a lot of them and you as well, which is I guess kind of weird, or maybe third generation or something. You know.
Yeah, I mean, well, I grew up listening to stuff my dad listened to, so a lot of Bush and Tool and stuff, you know. So, that was some of my first memories are listening to old Metallica albums in his truck and everything. So,
right.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely, I definitely hear the Breaking Benjamin, and I hear a little bit of Nine Lashes, stuff like that. Yeah. Which is not, that's fine. I'm definitely not. It's rock, which is great.
Sure.
And that's what I thought was really cool about you guys, that drew me to you guys, was that it was good, solid rock, but you also threw in the hardcore elements as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely so. Well, great. Okay, so we've got that. Are there any other influences that the other guys might say?
Let's see, for Jaden or drummer.
Jaden wouldn't Jaden say Wolves at the Gate? Because I feel like he's
he likes them a lot. He likes a lot of really heavy stuff like Amir and Chelsea Grin, and so he goes way out there.
Yeah, I noticed there was one of you guys that was into Impending Doom and stuff like that, and I was like, okay.
I think that was Josh, probably.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, Josh is also our bass players, super. Yeah, we're the mainstream sellouts in the band, and they're.
Yeah, because I'm a huge fan of Impending Doom and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that Fit for a King track that came out last week.
Oh yeah,
or 2 weeks ago. The Fire, God of Fire.
Oh, God of Fire. Yeah.
That song is the best song they ever wrote.
Yeah, that one's getting
that's probably, in my opinion, that's probably one of the best metalcore songs I've ever heard. I mean, it's just from the start to the finish, you just want to start punching people.
Yeah.
It's very well done.
Yeah.
And I like the
Fire.
electronic elements of it as well, because I'm kind of into electronic music and stuff. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, it's like a lot more industrial.
Sorry, I try to get a little more personable than most. You know, I don't.
No, you're good.
like
Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to ask some questions that are you might find a little strange, because I do movies, music, comic books, basically anything I like.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite superhero, and if so, why and who is it?
Nick.
So it's between two dark characters for me. So that would be Batman and Daredevil. I really like the idea of superheroes without super crazy powers. I mean, even Daredevil, like for him, he's blind, but he's got supersonic hearing, but he's not like super speed or super strength. To me, it takes away the struggle of someone overcoming evil when they have superpowers. So I really like to see a more ordinary character that is able to rise above challenges. So those are my two.
Yeah,
sure.
I'm right there with you. My favorite character is my favorite character is Batman for sure.
Yeah.
And then I get a little out there. I'm into Swamp Thing. I like Swamp Thing quite a bit, but that's cool. So did you like the Daredevil movie from years past, or do you think it sucked like a lot of people?
I liked it when I was 10.
Yeah.
I even got sunglasses and I like wore them everywhere because I wanted to be like Matt Murdock. But then later I found out how horrible it was. But then there was the Netflix series that came out and it was so redeeming. Like I love that series.
Yes.
I would watch the whole thing from start to finish again because it was just so good. And I'm really bummed that it was canceled.
I was really impressed with the Punisher in that show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I'm a Punisher guy too, but I couldn't believe how violent it was. Because I thought Punisher and Punisher Warzone were pretty graphic, and that show was 1 billion times like more graphic than that.
Yeah, Warzone was a lot more like comic book graphic.
Sure, right.
And
definitely
the one in Daredevil and stuff is a lot more like realism.
So what did you think about Ben Affleck Batman?
I almost blame the script more than I do the actor that they picked for Batman versus Superman. It was just awful, and it was like they took all these different areas in the movie and they had to make a medley out of it, and so they made this huge cut in the movie, and so much of it didn't make any sense. The script for that movie was just horrible. So I'm not really a Ben Affleck fan in general. Like I just don't really like his work. It's just something about him just feels kind of off to me. But as far as his performance with Batman, I kind of blame the script more than I actually do his acting.
Right.
So
yeah, I'm not a big fan of any of those Zack Snyder DC movies except Watchmen, which I don't consider to be a DC movie, really. I mean, I consider that to be more of a Watchmen movie.
For sure,
yeah. My, I call that whole new universe the DC Murderverse, because it's like everything that he just wants to kill everybody. That's what the whole thing is it's Batman kills everybody, Superman kills everybody. The only people, in my opinion, that are even redeemable are Wonder Woman and Aquaman. You know, and I really enjoyed those movies, but they weren't made by him. So, you know, I thought Justice League was pretty decent too. I thought it was decent.
I never saw that one, but
you should give it a try. It's a heck of a lot more fun, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Than the other two. Go ahead, Kristian.
Favorite superhero?
And if you're not into it, you're not into it.
No, I wish I could turn this thing around so I can show you my bookshelf like filled with comic books right now.
It's huge. It's so many.
I'll probably just have to go with Spider-Man. I know it's like that's like, you know, the superhero and everything, but
oh man, if that's what
he's the hard luck hero, and I really resonate with that. You know, so it's I don't know, he's just super relatable to me, and you know, So yeah. And he's like the first superhero I really got into when I was little. Those PS1 Spider-Man games that came out in like the late 90s and everything. You know, that was like my introduction into like superheroes in general. So
I remember those.
actually my first introduction was Spawn, but I don't think about that very often. So
Do you who's your favorite Spider-Man actor?
Tom Holland.
Wow. Okay.
Gotta be.
Man, I love Tobey Maguire.
Okay,
To me, I've always liked that. The new guy, man, that's cool. What do you like about Tom Holland before I say what I don't like?
I mean, he is so. I don't know how long we want this interview to be, but he's the most like accurate to the Peter Parker character in the fact that one, he's funny, he's super smart, and he carries himself around like an actual like a nerd, like a geek.
Right.
And I think those three things, and I'll let you give a rebuttal, but I think those three really important attributes are what's missing with the Tobey Maguire one.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because I mean, to me, the Andrew Garfield is a completely different. I mean, that's the more
I can
spectacular Spider-Man. But I mean, he's a version of Spider-Man that's out there, definitely. The spectacular.
Sure.
Yeah.
He's more the cool, like indie rock nerd. You know? Yeah. My problem with Tom Holland, my only problem with Tom Holland, but it's a big problem, is he doesn't really do anything.
Yeah.
He has to have Iron Man and everybody bail him out of trouble all the time. That's my only problem.
Yeah, that's actually probably my only gripe with that is, like I said, with describing him, Spider-Man's like the hard luck hero, but in these like MCU movies, it's like he's kind of just gifted everything. And, you know, stuff like that happen a little bit in the comics and everything, but not very much. Like I mean, 95% of the time, it's Peter Parker's on his own, and he's got to figure everything out himself. And these, it's more of just like he's Tony Stark's like sidekick. And he just like, gets all these suits and all this stuff, and so I feel you.
Yeah, but to me, my problem is a little deeper than that. My problem is that he gets in a lot of trouble, and everybody has to bail him out.
Mm-hmm.
Like even like in the new movie, which I loved, by the way, Happy had to bail him out at the end.
Yeah,
you know, which that's insane to me. But either way, that's fine. You're absolutely. I don't think those movies are bad by any means. I just, you know, and I think they'll get better as they go along. But yeah, that's my rebuttal. That's my only rebuttal with him.
Yeah,
I think as far as being like the nerd kid and, you know, being inexperienced, he's perfect. Yeah, I think he's fine with that.
Yeah. Sure.
If you had to choose one movie, let's start with movies first. If you had to choose one movie to watch, if you were trapped on an island or whatever, what would it be?
Do you want me to go, or do you got one?
I don't have one yet. I'm thinking.
Okay, so I have a favorite movie, but I also have the movie that I would take with me on an island, and those are different. The one I would take on an island would probably be Dumb and Dumber, because I can watch that movie my entire life, and I can quote the entire thing from start to finish, and I have, and it really annoys people when I do that. So that would be mine.
Okay. I saw that movie when it came out in theaters, and nothing had been seen like that.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like there was just the raw humor in that was definitely something new at that time. But I love that movie.
Peak, man.
Yeah, I love that movie. And then what's your favorite movie, or what's the movie you were saying you had two? You had your desert island movie, and you had your
right. My actual like favorite movie is The Departed. So very different. Okay. Yeah. But that's a movie I would probably just like get more. If the the point of me taking a movie on an island is so that I like feel better, you know.
Yeah.
And
Right.
taking The Departed on a desert island would not make me feel any better. So.
Right.
But
Okay.
it is my favorite movie. So
Interesting. Okay. All right. And you?
You know, I'd probably have to pick. I mean, probably just an Adam Sandler movie, because like Kristian said, like I want something that's gonna make me feel good if I'm stuck on an island or something. So like, oh, what's that one? I think it was called like The
Jack and
Insidious
Jill
or something like that. Like, it,
Which one?
What movie?
I think it was The Insidious 6 or the
Oh, The Ridiculous Six.
Ridiculous
Oh.
6. Thank you. Yeah.
That I haven't even seen that one yet.
You would pick that movie?
I would if I just needed something to take my mind off of it, something completely stupid but gives me a couple of laughs.
All right.
I don't know. My first thought was The Dark Knight, because that's like my favorite movie of all time. But like, I can't even imagine how like awful that would be to be stuck on, you know, a desert island or whatever. And like, well, I guess I can watch The Dark Knight and feel worse about my life.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Favorite Adam Sandler movie? I would go with Billy Madison.
Oh
Or Happy
yeah,
Gilmore.
that's a good one.
Yeah. I haven't
saw
seen The Ridiculous Six. I have seen. I saw that Do Over.
Oh yeah.
And I thought that was decent. It was all right.
Yeah,
What was the other one that I saw? Oh, Murder Mystery. I thought that one was pretty decent too.
that one was pretty
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Yeah,
I like
I
that
was
one.
surprised. Did you ever see that movie, The Cobbler, that he was in, where he was a
I
shoemaker?
didn't.
No, I've been meaning
But-
to though. He'd actually
Yeah.
get serious for that role, right?
Yeah, that movie's great, man. There's a lot of people that hate that movie, but I thought it was excellent.
Yeah, I got really bad reviews.
Yeah, I thought it was great, man. I thought that his
Yeah, check it out.
performance in it was great, and I thought the story was really cool too. So yeah, okay, that was great. Those definitely those were good questions or answers. Would you consider yourself a religious or spiritual person? And how does that spill over into your careers musically and in your life?
Let's see. Well, the short answer, yes. The long answer, yes. So I'm actually a youth pastor as well.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, and so yeah, I went to Christian college. I have my pastoral certificate, and so yeah, I don't know if I'll make that like a career, but it's just kind of something that, you know, God's been calling me to do. So
Cool. So is that what you do as a job?
it's not what I do full time.
Okay. All right. Do you want to share what you do full time?
Oh, sure. Yeah, sorry.
I mean, it's
I
up to
work.
you.
No, you're good. I work at. Well, I actually just got this job. I'm going to be working at a shared home with adults with special needs,
Oh, cool.
and so my job is going to be there, just kind of helping them through learn skills with like. I mean, our society has like so many rules that just go up against them, like that we don't even think of, like, you know, riding the bus or grocery shopping or cooking and doing laundry and stuff. So it's like my job will be kind of helping them grow further into skills.
Cool. Okay. All right. So yeah, you're definitely, I would say, rooted in the Christian helping people area of things. Okay. All right. That's very cool. Cool. Okay. Lyric. What about? Do you write the lyrics?
Yeah. So I actually, all the songs had already been written like previous from like us recording or the band actually even really like doing anything. Nick stepped in and he wrote some of the like the lead lines and everything, and there's probably a couple little small parts have changed, you know, but the bass pretty much, I mean, the song and all the lyrics and everything have been written by me.
Okay. And I mean, they're obviously rooted in that as well, even if they're not completely preachy, I guess you would say.
Yeah, well, I mean, Sacrifice is about the resurrection. And then kind of throughout the rest of the album is just kind of different parts of life, you know, but I wanted Sacrifice to be the first song, just to be like, this is where we have to start. We have to start with this message. And then everything else we can kind of dissect and, you know, kind of grow with. So
okay, cool. All right. What about you?
Yeah, absolutely. I believe in Jesus and have a relationship with him. He's my Lord and Savior. So I'm at a different church from Kristian locally. I moved, so this is kind of a funny story, but I moved to Olympia after I started seeing this girl. I'm going to be proposing in the near future to her. So I moved closer to her, and I started serving in worship ministry here. So I've been helping with that on Sundays. I've been helping out with youth, and I've kind of been doing that on and on in different areas since probably since I was like 15, 17 or so. I got involved with this youth group because I had a friend that was doing that kind of stuff, and my parents expected me to go to church, and I was like, well, if I have to go to church, can I just go to my friend's church? So from that point, I started to get to know adults who started to invest in me and, you know, and disciple me, and they just led me where I was at. I wasn't even really a Christian for sure at that time. But through the love that I had experienced from people at that church, I really started to see God's love, and that really opened up my heart and mind to wanting to know who Jesus was, and that was kind of where the seed had planted. And moving forward, that's what I do now, mainly is worship and working with youth.
Okay. Cool.
And our bass player is a youth pastor at Nick's church.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. So you're all pretty heavily rooted in church service and such. Okay. Yeah. That's great. Cool. Okay. Very good.
Yeah.
So obviously you use the band as a vehicle to kind of get that out there, or get the message out there. Is that the primary reason you started doing it, or is it because you're into music and you want to play music, so you might as well talk about what you guys want to talk about?
I guess both. The band was started for that purpose. I mean, the name Cite Received is out of Matthew, where, dang it, I haven't talked about this in a while, so I don't have the verse memorized now. But it's just basically, you know, homeless people come up and they're blind, and Jesus asks, "Oh, what do you want me to do for you?" And they just said, "We just want our sight." And so he opened their eyes, and it just says they received their sight and began following him. And so, like, let's look at that as like when we're born again, we just receive new sight, and our sight is now on Jesus, and that's just how it all starts. So yeah, it did have that purpose, but it was never like, we're not like take 15 minutes out of our set to talk about, you know, or stuff like that. Like we're still musicians, and we understand the room that we're playing in. We don't really seek out like Christian festivals or anything like that. You know, we just want to play music and afterwards talk to people, and like, you know, if something comes up, then it does. But you know, there's not a lot of like preaching or anything in our music. We kind of just let the music do the talking.
Cool. Okay. Do you want to add anything?
No, I mean that pretty much sums it up.
Sure.
And you know, there's a philosophy that I really like, that, you know, a lot of people talk about, are you a Christian band or are you not a Christian band? But what I really like is when people talk about a band of Christians. You know, your music does not, how do I put this? It's almost like you don't want. Have you ever heard the phrase that DC talk didn't go to heaven when it died? So,
no, I know what you're saying. You can't save you can't save music.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And kind of with that, I mean, we don't want to be branded as a band that the only Christians want to listen to, or you know, that only Christians relate to. You know, we are Christians, and we don't want to be ashamed of our identity. But also a part of being Christians is that, you know, we write about our faith, and because it's something that we're living. And hopefully in one way or another, that's either going to inspire people to know Jesus, or it's going to, maybe they'll look at it from an outside perspective and be like, oh, that's really cool. So
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, we just write what we believe in, and so
Right. Okay.
and,
So where did you record? And I guess just where'd you record?
we recorded in this room that you're looking at. This is my house. At least we recorded all the drum tracks here. Nick had actually tracked everything. And then a lot of the vocals and guitar stuff. Some of it was recorded here, and then other stuff was recorded at Nick's place.
Interesting. What program did you use?
It was Studio One.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just the simple like artist version, but it's got upgrades to it.
Uh-huh.
Just upgraded the meeting I see. But yeah, it was really interesting because I didn't actually have a recording space, and I was just getting started with recording. I wasn't in the band yet.
That's right. He started out. He was just gonna like record and mix and everything for us, and he wasn't even in the band.
Right.
I was super new to what I was doing, so it was a lot of learning on the go, and we had a lot of trouble, with just mic positions and getting the right guitars, the right guitar tones at the source. So I ended up having to do a bunch of like reamping and retracking with the amp and stuff. So it was really fun. But when we do our future stuff, we're actually going to be doing it in this space. So this is actually my studio now. So it's got like some panels here in the back, and
cool.
So it's cool, but it's really amazing because we live in an age now to where you don't have to go into a multi-million-dollar studio to make a record and make it sound killer. The fact we were able to just do everything ourselves was really pretty cool.
Yeah, I was not expecting you to tell me that was recorded in that room.
We just would put. We made, we blankets like around the windows and stuff like that. Just to, it worked out. It's a big room, so it's. I'm surprised it worked out because of that. But
did you trigger the drums?
That was.
I don't want, or maybe not trigger. It's what I don't even know what they call it now. It used to be called triggering.
Yeah, no, there's definitely drum samples, and so.
Okay.
So the guy who mixed our album, he's in a band called Avoid, and he does a really good job with mixing. His name's Nick Olson, and I think that what happened with the drums was he kind of wanted to change the arrangements to some of the parts, so you can hear the.
Oh, I think we lost him.
I think we lost him. Well, hopefully he'll be back.
Okay, I kind of know where he's going with this. I can just.
There it is. Are you there?
Oh, there we go.
I just had to reset my Wi-Fi. But yeah, there's definitely drum samples in there for sure. Which I think the mixer did with the intention of just kind of changing how the drums were structured a little bit. And I think he just wanted to do some different tones. But I can still hear the natural drum kit in there a little bit. But modern metal in general is just very, very sampled.
Oh, most definitely, yes.
Yeah, for sure.
And you're not, I work with an industrial project. So it's like everything we do is sampled. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Totally.
And the guitars, if the guitars were there, they're like super, super cleaned up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I totally, I'm not against that by any means. I just heard it. It's like I could hear it in it, and I was wondering, especially when you said that it was recorded in the room. I was like, whoa, man, okay.
Yeah. The tones were actually they came out a lot better than we would have thought. But I think he just wanted to shoot a little bit higher in caliber.
Sure.
but yeah, and in fact, actually, like pretty much everything that we recorded, I mean, other than the vocals, wasn't really mic'd in the long run. So bass, we started recording just with the DI. Guitars, we were doing, we were going into my tube amp, and then from my tube amp into a load box, and then from the load box into the interface. And then you could choose any kind of speaker simulation that you want. Like I think I did like it was like a 412 Miss a Boogie cabinet.
Sure.
So that sort of a thing, and it just works so well because you don't have to worry about noise complaints. You could track at any time. Like I was definitely tracking stuff on the album until like 4 a.m. last summer. Like night after night, I would just keep going. I like fell asleep in my chair a couple of times while recording the guitars.
Wow. Yeah, no, that's cool. Totally. I think it's great that you can do that now. I think it's awesome. You know, because I mean, you had to mic everything.
Right.
You know, and now you can record stuff. I mean, the guitar player on this song that we just did is in Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah, he plays in he plays in a deathcore band in Mexico. And he did all the guitars, and it's crazy, you know, what you can do now. I definitely agree. Talk a little bit about the record and your plans as far as I mean, have you guys played live and such in different, I mean, yeah, you have. I've seen pictures. What are your plans as far as that? And I know that we're in the middle of, you know, the end of the world and everything. So
yeah, I mean, our plan is to kind of get back out there as soon as we can. So, you know, it's just kind of up to the people that get to make those decisions. But yeah, we've played like a bunch of live shows. At this point, we're playing live shows pretty much up until we couldn't anymore. In fact, we had a couple things booked that we had to cancel, right? Because it was like in April and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, well, actually, our plan was to when we were going to release the album like this summer was to do an album release show, and we had a kind of built up a pretty good fan base from where we're at, and then you know, everything shut down, and it was like, well, we can either just wait until everything's open up enough for us to do this, or we can just release it. And we just decided it'd probably just be better to release it, especially because we released it like there's a window of time there where nobody was releasing anything. Right. And I think we're kind of like, we probably could have released it maybe a few weeks beforehand, because I think right when we released it, that was like when, like what you said, like God of Fire came out and stuff. So people started kind of releasing stuff, but there's still a lot of bands that are just like holding off on releasing anything until like further notice. So like we kind of wanted to take advantage of that time, especially because it's like for us, we're not like touring isn't like a necessity right now, because it's like more people are going to hear it right now just online than touring. Yeah. So it's not like we were actually really losing out on a whole lot. Right. But it was just more of just like the experience of being able to do a big album release show. So in the end, that just isn't as important as being able to just have it out, and at least it'll be out. And by the time we can start playing shows again, hopefully it'll get some traction.
Right.
Right.
Are you when you play, are you playing like locally?
Yeah, we haven't gone on like a tour or anything. I think we've played anywhere between Olympia and Seattle.
Cool. Okay. All right.
So
yeah, well, that's what I meant. So you do travel out of town?
Sure. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Do you who do you usually play for? Do you open for bigger bands? Have you had the opportunity to do that? I mean, you know, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
So we've played for no one that like anyone would really know, but just like bands that are on tour, but they're like local bands on tour, you know. So we've done stuff like that. I think probably the biggest room we've played for is probably, I don't know, maybe 60 people.
That's cool.
And So yeah, just stuff like that. So and that was kind of the, because we didn't really have any music out yet.
Yeah,
Right.
no
So
music,
it's
no
really-
merch, like
yeah. Um, so yeah, so we're hoping that there'll kind of be a bit of a turnaround now that we have stuff out, and the album's been super well received, and it's gotten a lot more plays than we thought it was going to get. I think the album itself has, just Spotify alone has about 12,000 streams now. So, and for a band our size, that's like awesome. So
yeah.
Yeah, that's really good, man. That's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
I
huge
mean,
leg up for
so
us.
do you have you sent it to anybody? Like, as far as like, are you interested in like wanting to expand into a label territory, or is it one of those things where it's like, if it happens, it happens, whatever?
maybe if it happens, it happens. I mean, the age of the internet has changed that so much.
Sure, totally.
And so that's not, maybe 15 years ago, we would have a very different answer. But I mean, just us releasing it by ourselves, we've been contacted by like multiple like websites and like you and everything. So just,
Right.
I think our big focus is trying to make sure like our social media presence is like really high end, because I think that's,
Which is,
you can't really, that's what, you know, like we have to market ourselves as different than just like, here's a bunch of music, you know. And like
Yeah.
my biggest gripe with like metal and rock versus like the rap and hip hop scene is, I mean, the social media presence in like the rap and hip hop scene is so much better and so much more engaging and more stuff
Mhm.
going on versus rock and metal. It's, and I'm not knocking anyone, but it's just, see posts are just like, thanks Pittsburgh, we'll be back next year for, you know, here's just a picture of our show. So it's like, we're, you know, and I think that's probably a big reason why like rap and hip hop has become so much more dominant. It's because of that. So it's like, I want to try to make sure we kind of stay up to par with that, and, you know, kind of market ourselves as more than just music, but like, I don't know, just open the door wider.
Yeah.
probably be more personable.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, and it is
Mhm.
tough, man. I mean, I ran a record label for years.
Okay.
And yeah, man, it's totally different.
Yeah.
It's completely different than what it was before. And in ways it's good, and in ways it's bad.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah,
I mean, there's,
definitely.
you know, back when I was running the label, man, it was like you'd have 15 people put out a record every 3 months. And
Mhm.
now it's like 15,000 people trying to put
Yeah.
a record out every month. It's
Yeah.
insane. It's crazy. It's like ADD for music people. You just can't, you know. But yeah,
Right.
that's cool. That's definitely, and I do completely agree with you. You don't need a label. I didn't know whether you were somebody that wanted to really kind of focus on that, you know, because there's still bands that focus on wanting to do that, you know, that they
Yeah,
want
and there's
that kind of.
bands that benefit a lot from stuff like that. You know, there's,
Definitely.
it's just kind of where your focus is at. And
Right. Definitely so. Is there anything, what do you guys got coming up on the horizon? Are you recording new music? I mean, I know the record just came out, so you're probably kind of like resting on that still.
well, actually, I mean, so like I said, all the music, a couple of these songs are like 5 years old now.
Right.
It just took so long just to like get everything together and like get like a lineup ready and stuff. So let's see, the last song was written about 2 years ago almost. Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Okay, so you've been sitting for a long time.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's definitely fair to say that we have a lot of stuff that we're already ready to start recording. I don't think we're going to do like another album soon. You know, we want to kind of make sure Worthless Gold kind of gets as much traction as we can, but we're at
Sure.
least just kind of starting to get ideas. And now the dynamic of the band's going to change a little bit, because like I said before, I wrote everything just myself. But now this next project we're going to do is going to have a lot more collaboration with everyone.
Right.
So there'll probably be some different things we'll do. But I mean, we're not going to leave our roots and anything, but they might just expand a little bit.
Yeah.
Right. So you're not leaving like there's not going to be like a major change in sound or anything like that.
I don't
mean,
think so.
musically, you know.
Right, yeah.
Because it sounds like you have big plans for the production stuff, so that's cool.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Sorry, give me
Right.
a second.
So, so basically, you're just give us some info on where people can find you.
Yeah, for sure. So we're on obviously there's our Facebook page, our Instagram page. We don't really use Twitter. That's kind of an unknown magic to me.
So yeah, everyone who does the social media. Sorry to cut you off. I just want to say with the Twitter thing.
It's a beating, is what it is. Twitter.
Yeah, I know.
I'm on
drummer.
it, but it's beating.
Yeah, I'm not on it. I refuse to have a Twitter. I actually deleted my Facebook because I just can't handle it.
Yeah.
Well, you can't do that these days, man.
Yeah. But our drummer Jaden, my brother, he's the one who does pretty much all our social media stuff, and so we are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Oh, I guess we are on Twitter.
Yeah, I don't know some of that stuff. I just really did that to him, so I don't like if I don't have a Twitter, I don't know who's saying what on it. So, but I do know he's using it as much as everything else. So. Right. Anyway, go ahead, Nick. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, you're fine. That's the gist of it. Unbeknownst to me, we do use Twitter. So, and then I mean, as far as our streaming platforms, we're on like everything, right, Kristian? Like everything. Yeah. I think including even like Amazon Music, but like hardly anybody uses that.
Yeah. So we just went through
this.
Yeah. So we went through DistroKid. And everything. Well, we went through DistroKid and TuneCore. So DistroKid was the main thing, but then our album wasn't getting put on Apple Music for some reason. Just some weird, I don't know, behind the curtain problem with something.
Yeah,
so then we just.
I know. I deal with the same thing, man.
Yeah. So then we use TuneCore to get it on there. So it's on everything.
Interesting.
Everything and everywhere. And we're gonna get CDs and stuff too, and if people want to do that, so. And support that way. And, we have new merch coming. So
cool. So and this is completely off the subject of interviewing, but did you have any issues with doubling up on the distribution through TuneCore and DistroKid, or did it kind of like cancel each other out?
So
you understand what I'm saying?
So are you saying like with us having two accounts?
Yeah. You're not like on there twice, are you?
We are. So
we have that's fine. I mean, it's not a big deal.
It's like $20 a year, and I don't know. It's whatever. So it's fine.
Right. Yeah. I didn't know whether that causes problems or not with that. Cause I mean,
I mean, it went up immediately and we haven't heard anything. I don't even think they care or even aware of it. So, and it was just kind of like, we waited like a while for DistroKid to put it out. And it just wasn't happening. So we're just like, okay, we need something to get it out now because people are waiting for it.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause Apple Music is important. It is.
Sure.
Yeah. So I totally understand, man. Is there anything you guys would want to say in closing? Website?
Nick, you want to start? Whenever I don't have something to say yet, I just volunteer Nick to start.
No, I'm really excited for what we're gonna do moving forward and writing together. Kristian actually just came over like 2 days ago, and we were like working on stuff together. It's such a different process because some of the songs are being pre-written, by Kristian, and then in other occasions where we're taking tracks and we're just kind of writing stuff in the studio. So like he'll like play a guitar part and I'll be like, oh, what if we did this or what if we did that? So like he was saying before, it's a lot more collaborative, but I've been in bands for like 15 years and I've just never really seen that sort of that sort of dynamic before where you can all write together in the studio. I think it's really cool and unique, and I think it's going to be really cool.
Interesting. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have 2 songs fully written. One of those we started recording a demo for, so and then there's a couple other songs that I have like a riff for or a chorus for, and but it's not like complete yet. But yeah, I don't remember what your question was. Sorry.
It's all right, man. No, I was just saying. Did you have anything that you wanted to say in closing, like anything?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, let's know our album. I'm just kidding. I don't want to be like that. No, we're really like, I wasn't expecting the kind of like attention we've been getting so far. I mean, there's people who have like literally have just kind of walked away from music, or I guess like the rock and metal stuff, because it's just gotten really stale. And they've been like telling me like, oh my gosh, your album's like really good and everything. So it's like, I'm not trying to like, raise my ego, but I just think that our album is, I think it has a unique sound to it. And I think that every song sounds different, but it doesn't lack focus.
Right.
And I hear that a lot. It's like, I don't want people to skip through the songs or just like think it sounds repetitive or anything. Like, I want their stuff to like have its own identity. So I think in that sense, it's been working out pretty well. And I'm hoping that we can mature and for our next project and stuff. And yeah, we're just like, excited for what happens and to play shows again. That's what we want to do. So
yeah,
cool.
Definitely.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, man, thank you very much. You guys were definitely a great interview, and I hope this helps you guys out. And
thank you for reaching out to us.
Hey, you got it, man.